so many of the champions, right? Because Kingen needs to ult, Udyr needs to flash, the Syndra needs to flash, Xayah can like kind of temporarily stay there and be fine, but all in all, like I think Cataclysm has super high value against the entirety of the composition from DRX, and that allows Gen.G to really play incredibly far forward and incredibly aggressive, which normally I think is a big problem against Xayah-based compositions.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I actually think that the Jarvan in a vacuum just against the composition does work very, very well. Whether it's going to have, you know, the lane presence early is also not really a question, right? Because like you say, it's life. He just puts flags down, puts Ares on things.
He also pokes right okay top lane.
This is aggressive as Kingen. They're both down to about 100 as we're very even in this matchup. And as you can see, we are. As Kingen's gonna flash, Rascal has his still available, so I guess Rascal wins the fight. Not entirely sure, but Kingen, he's getting his health back a little bit faster, and Rascal's gonna need to queue this wave, and he does so.
We talked about Clid coming top, and there he is.
Yep, he's already set up for this one. Ghost is going to be popped here as Kingen. Could just get stunned up. He's going to throw down the storm, gets himself the shield right on the edge, but the flash forward, and Kingen's just dead. Already an Executioner's Calling picked up as well, so...
Yeah, unfortunately for Karis, oh, never mind, had 5 in the top lane.
Yeah, a bit of a battle as Kingen throws down the ulti. Rascal has his already running as in goes Pyosik. He flashes forward, and that's going to be the capitalization on Rascal not having his flash. You can see Clid trying to fight this one out as Kingen can't actually get in. Solka turns up. Can they actually win the fight, though, as Clid's down extraordinarily low, tries to turn it onto Solka. Good sidestep, but it's not going to be enough. Solka grabs the kill. My
problem with this is, again, you're playing into an Azir, as here they go.
Yep, they're trying to get on top of Ruler here, who gets knocked up. Is going to Killer Instinct, flashes to try and get out of the way. Pyosik should be able to get it underneath the turret, and does so. Very difficult to run away from an Udyr.
So, not going to go well.
Well, speaking of things not going well, Solka's dead in the mid lane. I think that was just a setup from Life. He was angry at his AD carry falling down, so he went to
gold. Don't know if that's like, is that's fair to them, but...
Yeah, it's rough. As here we go. It's just the collection of Solka. Does invest his flash as well as Life. Puts him in the baby cage, and that's not where you want to be.
The baby cage? I mean, it's true. Like, this is what we talked about. Good way to win the game, as Karis might be in trouble here.
Yep, Emperor's Divide, but the stun still comes in. The quickness is out, and Becca just walks towards the Azir, and he is just gonna die. Well, he's able to move over, grabs a couple of little wolves, but does create enough space for them to try and get some work done here. Dominus actually popped right now as Rascal's very far forward. There's the Void Seeker as Ruler. Killer Instinct, but immediately has to flash to get himself out. Life goes golden. The quickness from Becker, but it looks like both supports will be hitting the ground. Rascal now off towards the backside. Pyosik just gets healed up, and he's going to be fine. And now, maybe Karis overstepped, is able to shift some sands, gets himself out of the way. Ruler now going to... As we do have this 5v5 around the Drake now, it has been started up by DRX. Pyosik seems to be able to ignore the damage pretty effectively. Gen.G in position right now as Life standing off towards the backside. It's actually Bao that locks down the Drake somehow, as there's the grand entrance. Fantastic value, but Karis does go golden, and Ruler locks down the kill onto Becca. Karis actually making it out alive as Kingen's in a little bit of trouble. Goes back, picks up his shield. He will be all right, but DRX get to Soul Point.
And Gen.G yet again having a problem where they don't really seem like they're continuously on the same page with these engages, as Life was the flash.
Yep, the flash from Pyosik is going to be there as well. A very dead Life. Pyosik just boops him, and in goes Kingen now. The bear drop up towards the top side as Pyosik turns up as well. Both of the bears are here, and Clid's underneath the turret. Not really looking like he knows what to do. The Gore Drinker not quite enough to keep him alive. Big AoE damage that you expect is, yeah, Pyosik has just found the Jarvan, and he just runs real fast.
He's 5 levels up.
Yeah.
He's so strong.
When Pyosik's playing the Udyr, he's just constantly running. Running and running and running and running. Always doing something. Look at this. He tests the waters.
The flank
the
again.
entire time.
They don't have vision. Backhouse at the bot side.
They can see that Becca isn't here, and they need to be very scared about this one. As Becca comes in, the Grand Entrance doesn't really get the work done, but Life is just dead in an instant. Ruler zoned out there by Pyosik as in goes the second bear. Ruler looking for the kill. They do manage to get the shutdown, as now Ruler needs to keep himself alive. Kingen looking to try and close the gap. He's so tanky. As Karis off on the backside, he still has the Emperor's Divide available. He's in vision. The Drake is going to reset. Remember, this is Infernal Soul Point. DRX need to try and get there as they've got 2 teleports. They can get these health bars back, and look at these backs. They're being stopped left, right, and center. Rascal locks down Becca, and the Azir is able to lock down the kill, and now Gen G should be able to get their first Infernal of the game.
Karis has taken the complete opposite approach. This is really risky from DRX, very far forward.
Yep, Life, remember, is extremely squishy. He's going to get himself all the way out of there as the Kai'Sa just gets collapsed on and destroyed. Rascal trying to get into the backline, but that's why this Xayah exists. It's so that she can Feather Storm and BK. And Pyosik is taking care of 2 people by himself. We were talking about the fact that Gen G had found team fights that they wanted. This is an example of absolutely not what they want. And there's the bear smack to the back of the head of the Jarvan.
Look at him go.
And now he's just walking around the base. Look at this. Look at this bear. He's terrifying. Oh,
What
now
is
he's
he
a chicken.
doing?
Now he's a turtle. It's Franklin. It's all sorts of things. As Clips try to hold on to the minion wave. Do they actually have any minions here? No, they don't. The backdoor bonus is in, but they have 2 very, very tanky bears, remember. Ruler is now back alive, but he has no Nexus turrets to hide under, and Pyosik is just a missile heading towards him.
In this single game, has done more damage than the other 3 Udyrs combined. Like, someone can... I'm not even joking.
No, I think you're right.
Someone,
I think you're right. We didn't see much over 3K.
But I think it was like
any of the
3K, 2K, and like 5 or 4K.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think he's done the equivalent of all 3 of them. As we check out this graph. And yeah, DRX doing their classic thing where they let their opponents roll over them and then just steal games.
We're back after Gen G versus DRX game number 1, and DRX once again was able to show their potential of turnaround. But we also want to point out that we had another debut coming out this time around. It was Karis on Gen G. Well, Karis is well known for his performance throughout a couple of tournaments already, and Gen G was really in need for that kind of new Swift coming in for their momentum, but still, I think a lot of players on the side of Gen G was a little bit nervous, especially for Karis. This can be a very typical first game jitter from a professional player, and Udyr versus Syndra matchup is not that hard for Udyr, but it seemed like he was a little bit too nervous for his first competitive game on the LCK. And also, let's talk about the Udyr pick. Even though they saw Kai'Sa locked in, well, it was really impressive to see that Udyr was able to actually pop off in this game. Especially, we want to point out that I think Pyosik is the best Udyr player in Korea, for sure. DRX was not paired up any other speed boosting champion for Udyr. They actually had Xayah and Rakan, which actually wants Udyr to help them. And we were not able to see a huge synergy coming out from the draft on the side of DRX, but they were able to make the best value with their in-game performance. And they were really good at annoying the opponent. They were making some pesky moves, and that actually was connected to this game victory because they were actually winning the mind game with these small and detailed moves. Yeah, indeed. Pyosik Udyr was playing something else compared to other ordinary Udyr player. Pyosik is the only one with the 100% win rate here in the LCK for this Udyr pick. 6 wins and followed by 9 losses. For the people who just watched the match number 1 today, Udyr does not look like a viable pick here in the LCK, but Pyosik Udyr is something else for sure. So let's take a look how he was so good at annoying the opponents. This was not a calculated play for sure. So Udyr rotates for the top lane, and then Rascal runs into Udyr, so they just engage for this fight. So Genji was a little bit hasty for this pick, so they got outnumbered very easily, so they were not able to win this fight at all. This was not a setup play at all. They just ran into Udyr, so they were making some emotional decisions to make a pick on him, but that didn't really work out well. Because Udyr has been annoying for this entire game, they got a little bit mad seeing this Udyr running around the map, so Raska went right in order to find the stun onto Udyr, but actually at that point of the game he was just too fast to tag. And J4 also followed with the initiation that didn't get any value as well. It seemed like a good try because Udyr's flash was down, but they were not able to actually lock down the kill. Maybe Genji was not able to calculate the speed coming out from Udyr pick. And also, we have to keep in mind that Karis Azir was also on the top lane, so he was really far away from his teammates. I guess Genji was too caught up with this presence of Udyr on the map. They were not able to make the perfect decision. And let's take a look at another replay. This time around, once again, they were also too caught up with this Udyr on the rift because they were too scared of this Udyr running around the map. They actually just ran into the face of Volibear, which doesn't really make sense. Pyosik was so good at annoying the opponents, so Genji was so caught up with the fact that they wanted to get a kill and punish this pesky Udyr. This champion or a play is not definitely easy. So if, let's say you're playing Udyr in solo queue, you have to actually be aware of all the speed boosts coming out from Udyr. You have to know the limit of this champion, how far this champion can make, and also how you're gonna actually escape when the opponents are collapsing on you. And DRX, they are so good and they show a very high proficiency on this champion, and that is the reason why this team is the only team with a 100% win rate with this Udyr pick in the jungle. And the player of the game will go over to Pyosik on Udyr once again. A perfect score on this champion in the spring split. A man of Udyr self, we can call him. This guy started off this Udyr boom all around the globe, but he is actually the only one popping off with this pick. It's really impressive to see a one single player carrying the entire team with a very specific champion pick. That's the main point of this Udyr play. This champion is meant to annoy the opponents. This champion is supposed to chase down the opponents, tagging all the stuns and put massive AoE damage with the Phoenix form. Pyosik is really good at finding the setup based on the power of the champion, and undoubtedly POG going over to this Pyosik on the Rift. These two teams are tied up at 4-2 score, but the winner will jump up to the second place. So let's take a look at game number 2.